Now liberally apply lots of hot glue around the edges of the board and quickly place a piece of the black foam core over that. Secure it with some little strips of duct tape all the way around the edges, just in places, just to keep it together while it's drying and curing. Then grab another piece of the thinner white foam core, put some hot glue on it, sandwich it with a piece of the black foam core, and you got a nice little foam core sandwich here. Do that with both remaining pieces. Now you're going to cut one piece right down the middle, right in half exactly. That's 10 inches wide. Then on the last piece, you'll cut two 10-inch sections for the smaller flaps. Then position one of the longer flaps and put a piece of white duct tape right down the edge. Try not to get it too wrinkly there. Fold it over. Make sure you've got a good seam there. And trim off the excess with a X-Acto knife. Continue with the other three flaps and make sure you press it together nicely and trim off those corners with the X-Acto knife so they're nice and neat. Then fold over one of the ends and position a length of black duct tape right up flush with the back end, the back side. Carefully fold it down, smooth it down, try not to get it too many wrinkles or bumps or bubbles in there. Smooth it over, fold it over, and then get another length and go from the inside edge flush and fold it down around the back. So just smooth it across and carefully fold it down on the outside edge. And trim those edges with your X-Acto knife so you got nice clean joints. Continue with the other four flaps, and then on the outside edges of each flap, start with a piece of the white duct tape. Go about 1/4 of an inch on the outside edge and smooth it down. And we're going to work this around to the inside. This is just the outer edge of the flaps. So try to smooth it in there. Always trying to eliminate as many wrinkles as we can. Some of them are unavoidable. Now going the other direction, we're going to start right on the very edge with the black duct tape and work it around to the outside. This is going to give us a nice, clean looking, finished edge and give us some protection on that foam core that's going to be exposed. This is going to be the rim of the light. Of course, we're going to trim off the edges with the X-Acto knife. Now this is where we decide whether we're going to make a collapsible or a rigid light. And if we decide to make it a collapsible light, you're also going to need some of this Velcro strapping. It's dual-sided, no adhesive. And you're going to have to cut little straps and hot glue them into position. You also have to finish off the other edges if you decide to do that, but you can see how easy it is to collapse this light. So you can ship it or pack it. So all the flaps come down and it all comes together, tie up the cable, and away you go. We're going to make this one a rigid though and continue with our construction. So just attach a small piece of white duct tape to the inside. And that just kind of secures it a little bit. Next, we'll apply a length of black duct tape overlapping one flap edge by about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch and carefully folding it over the opposing flap edge, making it smooth. Then apply another length, about 1/2 an inch overlap, and smoothing it out the opposite direction. It creates a nice, strong, clean joint there on the corner. And of course we trim it with the X-Acto knife. And now we have a rigid box once we've completed all four corners. So we flip the box over on its face, and we get the pipe with the U-bolts, and we position it right down the center. Mark it with the X-Acto knife where the bolts line up on the surface, and push down a little bit to make a little indentation so we see where we're going to make our cuts. And just stab through with the X-Acto knife in like a 8-point star all the way through, and then it leaves marks on the inside, so we flip it over and make cuts. It's all 4 directions, so it makes an 8-point star. And this is where we're going to then push the U-bolts through from the back side in both locations. Put the flange on and the nuts, and you just tighten them by finger at first, and then you just get a crescent wrench or a small wrench and tighten them up. You just want to make sure that it's secure and that the pipe on the back is flush with the back surface of the box. Now put some hot glue around the nuts so that it doesn't move, and then flip it over and put a bunch of hot glue around where the bolts and each end of the pipe connects to everything. You just want to hot glue it up really good here and let it cure good. You don't want that pipe twisting on you because that's what's going to hold the light to a clamp to the light post. And measure and mark off how much of this material you want to trim for the grid on the front. Then attach your little Velcro tabs, about 1-inch sections, about a 1/2 inch in from the edges. And you want to use the non-fuzzy side. Then use the fuzzy side and hot glue them in the appropriate positions on the grid material. Line it up. Put your bulbs in there, turn it on, make sure everything's working. Snap that grid into place with the Velcro tabs that holds it together. And you're set to go.